Hey everybody, welcome back to Tech Odyssey. As you can see, things are back in working order. I've got my lights again, so that's good. What's also good is the green light on the Pixel 6 sales so far. So I was reading an article today, actually several articles, talking about the Pixel 6 and the 6 Pro being the fastest, I guess most successful Pixel launch ever. And that's fantastic news. The jury is still out on whether it's going to be the most successful Pixel, but I kind of have an inkling that we're going to break that mark. I think that this, for sure, will be the most successful Pixel phone ever in the history of all time. And that's a great thing. Of course, there are obstacles that they've had to overcome, like the shortages on materials, supply chain stuff, and that's not something that isn't unique to other different manufacturers. But despite the fact that the Pixel 6 has been built and sold and marketed in the most probably hostile environment to smartphones in the history of smartphones, it's good, and it's very, very reassuring to hear that they have broken their sales records so far. So I think that that's good. I think, of course, we might have expected this because we knew going into it that Google was throwing more money than ever at their marketing. And we've been saying that for years. Google needs to market. Google needs to market. And it was more pivotal than ever this year because we had this vacuum of about 13% of smartphone share. See, when LG packed up their smartphone bags and, went hauling off and left, they had about 13% market share, I think, in the US. I don't know about globally, but in the US, I believe it was about 13%. This was the best opportunity that Google had over the last year, with LG leaving the smartphone market and then OnePlus completely losing their mind on basically everything, leaving their core fan base behind, changing things up, settling, and charging more money. And they've had a lot of stuff going on over there. So when you've got OnePlus messing up and you've got LG gone, it left this window for Pixel to try and capitalize on it. And I think that they did. And I think that that's going to be reflected once we get to later on in 2022. Once they finally take a look at those numbers, the Pixel 6, I think, is a good phone. I know it's polarizing with people who have suffered issues and had problems with it. And if you've never seen one of my videos before, I've talked about it extensively and I've tried to cover it, come up with solutions, give people updates. When it comes to the Pixel 6, it's weird because you can have 10 people and like 6 people can say it's the best one I've ever had. I've had no problems. I've experienced no issues. And you could have 4 that are like, I've got these issues. It's catastrophic for me. But all 4 people can have different issues. It seems like they mostly got it worked out, at least for the most part. I know when we got the patch in January, it fixed a lot of stuff. But the phone itself, I like it. I feel confident in it. I recommend it all the time. And whenever you look at what you get for $599, it's really hard to deny that. And I think that they prime themselves for success because the rest of the market is shooting way over the fence when it comes to prices. The cheapest iPhone you can get, I'm not going to talk about the mini, but the iPhone 13 is $799. And then you look at the OnePlus phones, those have been hovering $800, $900. You look at the Samsung phones, those are more expensive, $799 for an S21, $999 for the Plus, $1199 for the Ultra. And then you get this guy. Comes in at $599, and then you can get the Pro, which is fully maxed out, fully decked out, all the cameras, all the bells and whistles. $899 is pretty exceptional, especially in the smartphone world, whenever your competition for that size of phone with that level of hardware kit in it is $1099, $1199, over $1,000. So Google did a great job. Historically, we've had problems with them selling them for way too much. I think that was a lot of the problem, especially when it came to the Pixel 4. They wanted too much money. And I think they missed the mark. So they finally dialed everything in. They've got the Tensor chip. They've got this new design. It's sleek. It's sexy, if you want to use that term for a phone. And it's got the Google history and the lineage of the good cameras. It's got a lot going for it, more so than ever. Google threw tons of money at it, and it seems like it paid off. So kudos to the guys at Google. Fantastic job there. I'm glad that they broke this sales record, and it led to a record-breaking earnings call with Google, their best quarter ever. And that was part of the success. Now, it's funny to me how they have it listed. They can't tell us exactly how many Pixel phones they sold, but when they lump it in, it's lumped in like the other category, which is kind of odd to me. Like when the way they break down their sales, I guess they've got different categories, and then under other is where their phones are at. So that kind of tells you maybe where their priority is at. The Pixel may not be the tip of the spear when it comes to their hardware, their software, or what they're trying to accomplish. It's just one part of everything they're trying to do. It'll be exciting if they get this new tablet that they're talking about on board. I'd like to see them re-enter that space. They apparently believe it's where the future's at, and it's a really important part of technology. although they've abandoned it. So we'll see what happens moving forward. I'm really curious to see what the sales are at the end of the year. I want to see at the 6-month mark, like how well are they doing? Look at the end of the year. I think they probably did succeed in grabbing some of that market share. Now let's see if they can hold on to it. Keep the foot on the gas. We'll see if we get more improvements with Android 12, new services. Google's I/O conference is going to be really big this summer. I expect some cool stuff there, and that will prime us for hopefully a really successful Pixel 7 in the fall. So that's all I've got in this video. Just wanted to talk about that briefly. For those of you who are concerned, worried, interested, basically it's the best selling so far to this point Pixel. We'll see if it ultimately ends up being the best one ever. I have a feeling it will be. I mean, it's one of those things where you're smashing records already in the first quarter. Yeah, I know typically smartphone sales are the highest during the first quarter, but like I said in the video the other day, I think the S22 is going to be the Pixel's best friend, because when you look at the new phone coming out, whether it's $799 or $899 baseline, $599 right here. And I think it's a pretty good phone. So that's all I've got in this video. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them down in the comment section. I'll get back with you. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.